welcome to
The Savory Scoop.
This is a conscious, safe space where we talk about mindset, wellness, and nutrition. Today's topic is the power of gratitude. So ladies, tell us more about the power of gratitude and what that means to you and what your practices consist of.
To me, I love to wake up every day and say, thank you for my breath. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this air I'm breathing. And thank you for my family and all of the different things that I'm grateful for. So that's a practice that I love to do every day.
Oh, I love to thank you for my breath. That's so beautiful. We take that for granted. I have the same practice. Mm-hmm. Even when I wake up and I'm not necessarily feeling, because like things pop up in your head. But then as soon as I go back to that, it's like, wow, I get to witness this day. It's amazing, right?
Definitely. So in terms of gratitude, one of my resolutions for the last year, so 2022, was to practice daily gratitude along with some other resolutions. And so I actually did a really good job about it in 2022. I was pretty proud of myself. So like many days, at least like 5, I would say like at least 4 or 5 out of 7 days, I was writing down in my journal like what I'm grateful for. So I would actually write like, dear universe, I am thankful for, and I would put 1, put all the details and 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have definitely felt the benefits of it. My mind, so, like, I had a phase when I was playing Tetris a lot. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so stick with me here. So it's gonna make sense. But when like cars come up to a red light and there's like a space there. Well, my mind, I was playing Tetris so much online that I was like, oh well, this L-shaped Tetris piece could go right in that spot, and then this one could go right here, and so your mind takes on and starts to see things, see the world through, based on what you repeatedly do, right? So I definitely noticed that for me, when I was practicing gratitude throughout that whole year, I started to my mind was searching for the positives, because every day when I was writing things down, and especially on those bad days that I was writing things down, I really had to search. And it was as simple as like the sunny day that I have, the breath, this life. And yeah, the really cool thing, I definitely noticed I was retraining my brain to look for those positives. So very powerful for me.
Yeah, it is. When things are perfect, it's so easy to practice gratitude. And by perfect, I mean when we feel like everything is going our way, like that's perfect, right? To most of us. And for example, when you fall in love, right? The world just seems so perfect in that moment. And that's because in our mind, it's going our way. And it's so easy to wake up and go, oh, this is such an amazing day. I love this day, But when things are not going so great, like I go back to my experience of parenting the kids by myself, like, certain weeks. It was hard because I was working full time. I still had to go pick up the kids, take them to the extracurricular stuff, and then come back home, look through their homework, and then you're so exhausted by the end of the day, and then the whole thing starts again. So there's no time to even think, find space, or, pause. It feels that way, right? And it's also because I didn't know many of the tools that existed. So I was just kind of like on autopilot, just doing stuff. And then the days would fluctuate based on things that were happening to me, or I felt like were happening to me at the time. So if, I was late to work because, the kids forgot something, and then I had to go grab it and then drop it off to school. And then the whole day starts like just really crappy, you know, and then you bring all of that to work, and that's how you kind of like finish your work, and then you come home and then you're still in that same energy. So it wasn't until I like learned about, I started learning with meditation and mindfulness practices and Buddhist teachings and yogic teachings, and that's when I realized that gratitude is not necessarily when things are going our way. It's really a state of being, right? It's about just pausing to notice, you know, all the beauty around us, even when we think all these things are happening to us.
They're happening for us.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Yeah. So for me, that has been a major shift from all these practices, that things don't have to seem perfect to practice gratitude.
It's an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah,
I love that.
I like that.
And that brought up so many things. Like, I just thought of so many things as you were talking about that. And one of them is I can relate with you. Like, when I was a single mother and things were not going so great, and I was working like 3 different jobs, trying to build my business, also trying to pay the bills, and I felt lonely, I would just remind myself, like, how can I feel lonely? Look at these beautiful children that I have next to me. Like, I have so much to be grateful for. And so I've learned now, you know, that even when things are going badly, like, gratitude now is like a coping mechanism for me. I choose to focus on the positive rather than to focus on the negative. So I focus on the things that I'm grateful for, and then I'm like, wow, look at all that I have to be grateful for, you know? And it's just a shift and a practice.
Yeah.
I love what you shared there. I was just thinking, as you were saying that, many times I will journal when I'm feeling good. I want to journal like really good things, but also when I'm feeling really crappy. And I will just, stream of consciousness. But I've definitely noticed over the last at least 6 months to a year that I have started to, like, once I'm just writing down all the things that, I don't think are going well. And then I'll say, but, work is going well, or this aspect of my life is going well. And it's really interesting because I feel like I've like trained myself to just change that, like just change my thoughts, right? Like it's fine to dump out all the what's going on in your brain. That's good and fine. But then I was able to convince myself or change my mood through journaling on gratitude, like the things in my life that are going really well. And there's always something going well. We're not in a war-torn country. We're not in a situation where we're starving, most of us. And so there's so much to be, really truly so much for us to be grateful for, right? Even when we're in a very, very low place, there's always something, I think.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, I really like how you said the stream of consciousness, because when we journal, we always feel like, or when I started out journaling, you always feel like you have to write so perfectly. Like you have to figure out how to write and have it all make sense. But it's really just putting it out there, like just putting words on that piece of paper, and then you get to see it externally, like what's happening. I like that.
And then you get to go back and look at how far you've come and give yourself gratitude for your evolution and how far you've come. That's the really beautiful part. And also, people with me all of the time, because of my food allergies, I have celiac disease and I have many other allergies: soy, corn, peanuts, refined oils, refined sugars. Oftentimes when people will meet me, they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I feel so bad for you. Like, what do you eat? And I'm like, I eat everything. I eat so many things. And in that sense, I'm very grateful for these allergies because I get to eat the cleanest, most amazing whole foods. And I've carried that on into my restaurant now as well. And so I'm meeting people who have the same food allergies, the same experiences that I've had, and they are so grateful to be able to eat in a safe space, you know, where they can eat pretty much everything on the menu. So I'm very grateful that that adversity has led me to create all of these amazing, beautiful recipes, you know, of people's favorite foods, my favorite foods, Italian foods, all different types of cuisines by replacing the unhealthy ingredients with healthy ingredients so that, you know, I don't have to sacrifice.
I love that. I so love that because our minds are wired to think that as soon as there's restriction, there is sadness and right. And how can you find gratitude when you can't? And I just love what you just shared, because to be able to find gratitude for those things that have happened, those allergies, because now here you are finding gratitude and eating clean and owning a restaurant, right? With like I've tried your dishes, obviously, with amazing dishes. I mean,
Thank you.
That is so beautiful to hear and inspiring.
Thank
that
you.
you can find gratitude even with chronic conditions. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
That's very uplifting to hear because even with my stomach and gut issues, there's definitely days where it's just like, when am I going to figure this out? Or, you know, my day is just not off to the greatest start and I just want to beat myself up. So it's really great to hear your inspiration just with the little things that I've been going through.
Yeah, day by day.
Yeah.
Small little shifts, day by day. You'll figure it out. It's part of the journey.
Really is. Really is. Yeah. And even with the eating, like I was sharing this with Lisa earlier, I've noticed, so I've been going through some issues myself. And I noticed the diet plays a huge part. Here I am, you know, some of the things that might be okay for, you know, some people may not be okay for you because you are unique, right? You have your genetics. And what I've noticed is people usually finish eating in like 15 to 20 minutes. That's the most. Most people are like, you know, if they have dinner or a snack, they're done in 15, 20 minutes. So when I sit with them now and I am on this journey of eating clean, what I notice is if I can get through those 15 minutes, because they're eating that in front of me and, you know, it might be a group of people eating that in front of me and it is something that I'm used to having. And here I am, you know, well, this is not supporting me anymore, this type of food, so I need to stay away from it. So like 15 minutes later, they're done eating, we just move into like other activities like conversations or walking or talking, watching something. So it's almost like noticing that it's that instant gratification mindset that I am trying to shift here. Because after that whole, you know, getting together or getting through those moments, like I am always grateful that I chose not to participate because it's only 15 to 20 minutes. And that's been, that is something that I recently discovered and I've been kind of experimenting with that. Yeah.
I love that perspective.
Yeah. Thank you.
I definitely, I feel like I relate to that because when even on days, so like with my morning routine, if some days when I struggle and if I like snooze or I have trouble getting out of bed, even on those days, I'm able to devote at least a little bit of time, right? Like maybe 5 minutes or, 10 minutes to some movement and some meditative practice. I write down later in my gratitude journal, I'm thankful that I was able to do that. I'm thankful I was able to get out of bed and do that, take a little bit of time out, out for myself before the rest of the day, and kind of getting through the funk, and just like pushing through. And then you were thankful that you were able to get through that, and you're thankful that you made that decision. It was like you never regret making the right choice for your body or for your mental health, right? So I feel like that's something new for me. I feel like I've been writing down what I'm like thankful for. Like I'm thankful that I am starting this practice. It's not always external, right? It's like I'm thankful that I am growing. I'm thankful for all the things that are coming to me, but also the things that are coming from within.
Absolutely.
Just love it.
And you can practice gratitude towards your food as well. Like I love to bless my food with high vibrations and express gratitude towards having access to healthy food or choosing delicious, healthy, high vibrational food. I think that's very important because, food is so nourishing. You are what you eat, it's fuel, and expressing gratitude towards that is just a beautiful thing.
It really is. That's definitely one of the practices of mindful eating, right? Yeah.
Well, we have Melinda that's actually wrote in. She has a question for you, ladies. Okay. And that's, what are you grateful for today?
Well, I can go first. I am grateful to be sitting with you amazing ladies and sharing our thoughts.
Likewise, I'm very grateful to be here with you today. It's like no matter what happens on these days when we're going to film these podcasts, I know that when I get here, it's all going to melt away. We're going to have fun. We're going to connect. We're going to spread the love. And I'm always very grateful for it. So thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the ride over here with Debbie because we carpooled together and it just gives us a lot of time to chat and catch up, and it's a nice space, nice time.
It's nourishing.
I love it too.
I love it.
It's so nourishing. Yeah. So there's one last thing I wanted to share quickly is, when everything seemed to go wrong, how do you find gratitude? One of my favorite practice is serving others. For some reason, when I just don't feel good at all and there's just nothing, like I cannot, okay, the sun is shining great, and, but what I have noticed is I'm part of this charity and I just work on that, whether it's a fundraising event or whether it's a walkathon, when I am so focused on that or like cooking food for the kids or the family, I forget that to even think of gratitude. I'm just in the flow. It just feels good to have done something for someone else and not thinking of me. So I just wanted to share that because I've had those days where I'm just like, because I was like in a really bad place and okay, everyone's like, oh, look at the stars, look at that. I'm like, it's not working for me.
Yeah.
And then serving others worked for me.
Wow.
I can relate with that as well.
Yeah.
I love serving others. I love taking care of people and nourishing them. I love sponsoring events and providing nourishing food and just bringing joy to other people.
Yes.
And serving for sure.
I definitely relate to that too. That reminds me of when I've served at the Vipassana courses, and you're cooking the food that these people are going to eat, that the students are going to eat. You're cleaning the spaces. You're doing all of these things with love, and there is so much to be grateful for in that. Yeah.
Right. So much power in that as well. Well, I think we feel good about this topic, huh? I feel grateful.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have any questions, you can email us at connect@thesavoryscoop.com. Or if you watch us on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments below. You can also find us on social media at The Savory Scoop on Facebook and Instagram.
So our notes for the day, I will start. Be kind to yourself.
Be grateful.
Stay silly.